Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have ourselves a quarterback. Just ignore the fact that we lost, though. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Titans Rundown. I am your host, Micah McCamey, and yes, I did get a haircut in between me recording the intro and me recording the rest of the episode, so do with that what you will. Anyway, yeah, we got a little bit to get into today, don't we? like, I'm recording this on a Monday, 4 days after the game. I was planning to record it on a Saturday, but other things happened, which is what I'll talk about in my little, like that 4 minute, no, not 4 minute, like two to 3.5 minute segment that I do. I'll definitely talk about that, but yeah. So Will Levis looks good still, and I'm going to try and not spoil the rest of the episode with that intro, but that's about all that you really need to know. So, anyway, let's get into today's episode, but obviously we got to start out 2.5 to 3.5, 4 minute segments sometimes that I do where I talk about something that's not related to the Titans. And, y'all get to hear a little bit more about what I do whenever I'm not covering the Titans. So, um, yeah, first off, Vols played this weekend, absolutely destroyed UConn, which is what we were expected to do because they're a 1-7, now 1-8 team. And Joe Milton, that's the best that I've seen him play. I mean, I know that it still wasn't great, No, wait, no, wait. It was great. No, cut that out, cut that out. But no, he was great, but it wasn't against like it was against one of the worst teams in the Power Five. No, in the entirety of non FCS football in the NCAA, uh, if that's how you want to say it. But yeah, no, yeah, he looked good. Defense did its thing. I mean, like back to back pick sixes. That's always a good thing. But anyway, so yeah, but there's only one thing that really mattered to me this weekend that was not related to the it wasn't related to the Tennessee Vols. It wasn't related to the Titans. If you were a kid that played, I'm 15, and for some reason this update makes me feel old, but whatever. Even though it definitely should not. I'm not old. I'm 50 again. I got the rest of my life ahead of me. But yeah. OG Fortnite came back. I mean that dead seriously. Dude, OG Fortnite was my thing back in the day, dude. You have no clue how much I played that. Like, I was really bad with anger. Like, I used to get really mad at the game, and I did not take advantage of what we had back then. But now I am savoring every single moment that I have left with this map. And I absolutely hate the fact that we are not going to be able to see this map ever again. Again, epic. I feel like that's a really smart business decision if like you yourselves create like a creative map or something that's like the OG map, or let me try and think of something else. Or you just have it as a playable game mode, because they got it right with the first map. The first map, the one like chapter 1, season 4, season 5, you could say season 3 as well. Like seasons 3 for 5 and chapter 1 were the perfect map. And they did all of this random stuff with it, like from seasons 6 through, actually no, season 6 was also really good, but uh seasons 7, chapter 1, season 7 up until now, just they tried to change too much. It wasn't even recognizable whenever you played it in chapter 4. Like, anyway, this is not a this isn't I am not a Fortnite channel, I promise. I may later down the line I may create another channel where I play stuff like Fortnite or any type of video games or something, and I may create an interview channel. Who knows? But Yeah, that's a summary of my weekend, and that's why I'm recording on a Monday. And we had no school today, so that was a good thing. Um, yeah, so if you sat through my Fortnite love rambling, thank you. I really appreciate it. I really do. And if you skipped up until this point trying to find it, because I never leave a timestamp in the description, sorry about that to the people that want me to just get to the Titans content. But anyway, thank you for still fast forwarding to hear me talk about what happened this week. So, we lost, and you would think that I would come in here being like, Tim Kelly needs to be fired. Will Levis is not that guy. Chig is horrible. Like, oh yeah, also before, I get into the rest of that stuff, prayers for Traylon Burks. Like, I hope he's in concussion protocol, thank goodness, but like that was scary, like genuinely. But anyway, so oof, this team the roster is not good. I've accepted that, but Will Levis looked good, eh? Like, I know that he threw that pick, but like that pick, you're just trying to force the ball, you're trying to get it out. I think Chris Moore would have been the better throw there, but like, like you're just trying to force a throw, make some magic happen or something. You're not trying to, you know, you're not trying to make the smart decision. You're just trying to make the decision that can get you into the end zone at the 20-yard line with like 30 seconds left. So I completely understand that pick. And it felt like a sad way for that game to end, but I think that we've got our guy. He's shown flashes of just true greatness, and he has. I think that Tannehill would have led that roster to a 24-3 slugfest. It would not have been pretty. Um, I just, gosh, I don't understand. I want to get this pet peeve out of the way immediately, and hopefully by the time that this is out, Vrabel has said that Levis is the starter from now on with no questions whatsoever. But why on earth do you think that you could start? Why on earth are you even considering starting Ryan Tannehill? This is Will Levis's team now, whether you like it or not. That's just the truth. Like, Tannehill's days are done, at least as a starter for the Tennessee Titans. He may like sign like some cheap 1 year, $8 million contract with some quarterback needy team, like I don't even know, but like the Falcons or something like that. But like he's yo, honestly, I would like to uh if Vrabel on Tuesday, hopefully by the time that this is out, he said that Levis is the starter. But if he does go out there on Tuesday and says, "Oh yeah, you know, Ryan Tannehill is our guy and he's going to start for this game against the Bucks," I will be livid. I think that the fan base will be livid, and I think his job would be on the line if he decided to start Ryan Tannehill instead. Like, okay, so weird example, I know, and I know that there's a Bears fan that I know that would find this absolutely absurd. But if Vrabel starts Ryan Tannehill, this will remind me very vividly of the Matt Nagy situation back in Chicago. You know, uh, Chicago had a great season under Nagy. They thought that he was such a creative offensive mind and all this stuff, and well, just a creative guy in general. And they thought that they were just one quarterback away, and that was all they needed. Until the season that they actually do get a quarterback in Justin Fields, Matt Nagy's job is on the line, and instead of putting the job in the hands of Justin Fields, who, again, has not turned out to be too great, but at the time we didn't know if he was good or bad. instead of trying to put his job's hands into Justin Fields, he put his job's hands in the he put his he put his job in the hands of Andy Dalton, a backup QB at this time, in this period of time in the NFL, at best. Like, and that's where Tannehill is right now. Right now, Tannehill is a mediocre starter or backup at best. Gosh, like, and oh yeah, they both won a Coach of the Year, and now 2 year, and ironically, 2 year, I believe it was 2 years after Nagy won Coach of the Year, he was fired, and we are 2 years, and it's 2 years after Mike Vrabel was hired. Okay, so I don't think that Vrabel is exactly like Matt Nagy, because Vrabel has actually done a lot of better things than Matt Nagy did, but you get my point. Like, he's the better coach, but what has been happening has been, to me, somewhat similar to what Nagy had in Chicago. Like, that's just my opinion, at least. But anyway, uh, whew. So anyway, back to that. Yeah, no, Will Levis should 100% start. Don't put your job into the hands of Ryan Tannehill. And if y'all go 3-14 this year, what are y'all gonna do? What if we went like 3-14 with Tannehill as the starter? What are we gonna do? Like, are we gonna like? Let me think. We're like, are we gonna like? We would have. Sorry, if we were 3-14, are we gonna sign a? Are we gonna have? We're probably gonna have like a top 5 pick. So like, why on earth would you do this? Because if we have a top 5 pick, that makes it hard not to draft like a Drake May or someone like that. I mean, I would hope that if we did go 3-14, which I don't think we will, I think that this roster is bad, but it's not that bad. And I would hope that if we did end up going 4-13 or 4-13 or 3-14, I would hope that Vrabel would be like that. Vrabel and Carthen and Amy Adams, I think she's pretty hands off. But anyway, like, I would think that they would probably draft an offensive lineman. I would hope that they would draft like a left tackle or right tackle, or heck, even a cornerback if there's a cornerback that good in the draft. But like, gosh. So, yeah, the roster did not play good. The defense absolutely sold on Will Levis's behalf. Will Levis was having a great game. Was not a great game. Will Levis was having a decent, serviceable game, and Ryan Stonehouse does what Ryan Stonehouse does, and he pinned them back at the 8-yard line. The 8! And you allow a 92-yard drive to Kenny Pickett. Like, that's ridiculous. Kenny Pickett, the guy that has been mediocre at best, bad at worst. Like, at worst, he's potentially bottom 5 in the NFL, at least at the quarterback position. At best, he's like 20, maybe 20 to 16, somewhere around there. Like, come on, man. Hey, Will Levis, again, to me, undeniably should be the starter. I can't stress that enough. Please, just please, Vrabel, start Levis. For goodness sakes. And let me try and think of something else. Okay, so Titans D line was pretty silent. I'm not mad about that though. That's like, they had Broderick Jones back, and I think that he made the O line look a little bit more decent than it actually was. But there was something that really made me upset, dude. we got to Kenny Pickett and we sacked him basically, and he had gotten it out like right as the defenders were getting to him, but like both of the dudes that were Jeffrey Simmons and I believe it was, Thierry Tart were like try were they could not take their weight off of him, and they called roughing the passer. That's ridiculous, And oh yeah, the wrapping situation was kind of crappy for both sides. Like it wasn't too awful that night, but Anywho, so now we got to take a look to next week. Next week we play the Bucks. Oh gosh. So hopefully, if all goes according to plan, Baker Mayfield never has another week like that again. Please, Baker, don't be that good against us. I mean, we killed him like a few years ago, so I'm hoping that we do the exact same thing next year. But yeah. Anyway, so oh man, I can't. I lose my thoughts so much. Like it's kind of annoying, honestly. So I was saying something about was I saying something about Will Levis? I mean, that's usually what I like to take yes at. No, I was saying something about Baker Mayfield. Yeah, so last time that we played Baker Mayfield, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Like or was it no touchdowns, 2 picks? I think it was no touchdowns, 2 picks. Yeah, we absolutely destroyed him, and I'm hoping that we do the exact same thing next week against the Bucks. And I'm hoping that hopefully Vrabel is still a good to even great head coach. Like hopefully he is a top 10 head coach. And hopefully he can divide the gap between him, who is a top 10 head coach, and his opponent, Todd Bowles, who is on the hot seat right now and is a bottom 5 head coach in the NFL. Like, I'm hoping that he can do that. But, oh yeah, also, their defense is a little worrisome, but I think that Will Levis can take it on. And if Will Levis has a good game this week, then we should be fine. But, again, can't tell. But, like, can't even tell if he's going to start or not. But yeah, so yeah, so hopefully we can beat the Bucks at the very least. And if we beat the Bucks and Will Levis has a good game, Nissan Stadium is about to be loud. They've been pretty loud so far this year, and I've been very happy about that. But like they're going to be really loud against the Panthers, especially because that's probably going to be the game that like all of like, the fans that don't really go to that many games go to. Like it's going to be like, like there's always that family with their little kid that's just like, "Oh yeah, this is a cupcake game. Let's take like little Jimmy to go experience this for the first time." Like it's one of those games. So, yeah, it's going to be loud. And if we beat the Bucks, we better beat the Bucks. If we can't beat the Bucks, I'll be upset. But and hey, that would break the road curse for us. But yeah, okay, so overall thoughts on the Pittsburgh game, going back to that. So, great game by Will Levis. Again, there were a couple of things that we still need to work on. Like whenever he was trying to force the check down, and it ended up being an incomplete pass instead of a fumble. Hallelujah. But like, golly, that was really bad. But like, yeah, no, Will Levis played pretty decent. I mean, he had a couple of like bad throws. Every rookie quarterback's gonna have stuff like that, but we're just gonna have to see what happens. But I think we have our guy, and I hope that we have our guy. And I hope that he proves every single person that doubted him wrong, including myself. Dude, I was not big on Will Levis. I just want to stress that so much to y'all. Like, I thought that Will Levis was going to be absolutely horrible. Like, I saw his statistics and I was just like, he's not. I saw his statistics. I watched him play and I thought, he's not good. Like, I don't know why so many people are high on him. Then we drafted him and I was just like, okay, maybe I can look at this from a more optimistic standpoint. You know what I'm saying? But, like, yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that I didn't see that sooner, and that a lot of NFL teams didn't see it sooner. Like, I mean, I hope Bryce Young turns it around because I actually kind of like him, but like that could look like a really bad mistake if Anthony Richardson stays healthy, C.J. Stroud stays at the pace that he's at, which I think that he will, and Will Levis ends up becoming the guy for Tennessee. Like, that would look really bad. And honestly, I would be kind of happy about it, mostly just because, so many people were talking about Bryce Young as the next guy. And I love Bryce Young, but like people were giving him too much hype. Like they were talking about how like he's just as good as like, Trevor Lawrence was going into the draft. He was not even close to that. He was small. He played bad against disguise coverage. I saw one dude that said they never had a bad game at Alabama. Are we going to talk about 2022 national championship against Georgia? He threw 2 picks. Like, okay, I understand. Didn't have his top 2 receivers, but still, that's no excuse. But anyway, got off topic there. So that is going to wrap up today's episode of the Titans Rundown. I know you may be shocked that this is a Titans show after me talking about Bryce Young and stuff, but anyway, so I have Instagram, I have Twitter, and I have TikTok. And for the people that are listening on like a podcasting app like Apple or Podbean or wherever you listen, I also have a YouTube account where I post shorts and stuff. So yeah, all are under the Titans Rundown. Nothing is a different name. But anyway, that's going to do it all for me. This has been a rundown of your still bad Tennessee Titans, but Will Levis looks good. I love y'all, and tighten up.